Known caller.
We welcome you to Toyota Arena in Ontario, California for a Thursday night showdown in the Major Arena Soccer League between the visiting Tacoma Stars and the Empire Strykers. With this getting down to the nitty-gritty of the season, we can't help but say the cliche term that every result carries massive weight. And in this contest, all the weight is on the line. There is a lot to play for both teams. Hello, everybody. My name's Christian Filliman, better known as Philly, alongside my broadcast colleague, the coach, the man with the X's and O's, Artie Kyrell. Artie, 46 meeting historically between these two teams. The Empire has won 3 contests this season. The Tacoma Stars won back December 20th. But we could throw all that out of the window right now.
100%.
With the way that these teams have revamped themselves, with what's on the line, there's going to be a lot of fireworks here in the month of March.
Unreal right now. Everything's changed because at the end of the day today, there's a little check mark next to teams at the tops of the tables. If points are dropped, 1, 2, 3 teams get into the playoffs and qualified for the playoffs. So a lot riding on the top end of this, but also you don't want to be that team that kind of ushers in the playoff teams at the top. This is an opportunity for the Strikers to kind of push themselves and solidify that spot, but it's also an opportunity for the revamped Tacoma Stars to make that statement and leapfrog.
The 6th and final playoff spot is going to go to one of these teams, the Empire Strykers or the Tacoma Stars. So far, it's the Empire in pole position, but Tacoma is right on their heels with a couple of games in hand. What makes this tale very interesting is the fact that Tacoma has yet to win on the road. But in saying that, the Stars did recently sign a couple of players formerly of this franchise, in the likes of Frank Tayu, Uzi Tayu, Clayson DeLima, and they also bring back Rafael Cox, another very big player. Frank Tayu, the all-time leader in the MASL in goals, points, and so many other statistical categories. 12 points shy of 600. The king of MASL makes his return to his former palace, but he's going to wield a mighty scepter that's going against a team that's employed him for a long time. A team that he was once the franchise leader in points. Frank Tayu could be the difference maker tonight for Tacoma.
Indeed, Frank does what Frank does. He scores goals. The key thing for me, I think, moving forward for the Tacoma Stars is actually Rafael Cox. He kind of comes in with some veteran leadership to settle them down. For a team that hasn't won on the road, that's very pivotal in moving forward, because it can keep them solid and solidified mentally through the game. And then, as I said, Frank goes and he scores goals. I mean, he's done that since coming back. Multiple goals each game back thus far, you know. So it's going to be a fun one here at Toyota Arena.
5 goals in 3 games. But the Empire Strykers also welcome back one of their top scorers of the season in that of Munir Alami. He, along with Justin Stinson, who just usurped Frank Tayu as the franchise leader in points, will be looking to push the purple and black ahead of the Tacoma Stars. Folks, we have so much to talk about. There's so much electricity in the building. There's going to be so much firepower that you will see on the turf. We're going to step aside for a quick moment. And when we come back, we get down to business, the business of indoor soccer. It's the Stars invading the Inland Empire to take on the Empire Strykers. Kickoff on the other side of this break. You are watching the Major Arena Soccer League on MASL TV and KVCR PBS.
National Core, proud to partner with your Empire Strykers. On the field, in the community, we defend the Empire. Sign up for our free soccer clinics and meet your favorite striker. Community, passion, this is your Empire.
With 6 miles, runway 6 right, on.
One, two, three, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
Corky's Homestyle Kitchen and Bakery, where good food and good feelings come standard. Our team serves up an array of made-from-scratch, homestyle favorites for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with fresh-baked goodies straight from the oven. Inspired by Grandma Corky herself, every dish is made with the freshest ingredients and a heaping helping of love. Her spirit lives on in every bite, filling more than just your belly. It fills your heart, too. So come join our family here at Corky's, where friendly faces, honest cooking, and quality food are just the way we do things.
The Major Arena Soccer League is proud to welcome you to MASL Soccer on MASL TV, and we want to extend the warmest wishes to those joining us on KVCR PBS. Miter, the official game ball supplier of the Major Arena Soccer League. Learn more at miter.com. Capelli Sport is the official uniform and apparel provider of the Major Arena Soccer League. Learn more at maslsoccer.com. Folks, you are taking a look at Toyota Arena, one of the busiest arenas in Southern California, as it is going to be the host of an epic Thursday night showdown between the Tacoma Stars and the Empire Strykers. My name's Christian Filliman, alongside my broadcast partner, the coach, Artie Kyrell. We stress the importance of this contest at the top of the broadcast. These are two teams that are hungry for that 6th and final postseason berth. And it goes without saying, this game counts.
Absolutely. This game counts significantly, as you know, results tonight dictate players at the top of the table gaining entrance into the playoffs. And so just a good night for football here at Toyota Arena, and I'm expecting an exciting game up and down the floor.
46th meeting all-time historically between the Stars and the Strykers. It's the Empire with a 23-22 edge, and this season the Strykers have gone 3-1 against Tacoma, a team that has struggled on the road. In fact, the last time they beat Empire was at the Accesso Showwear Center on December the 20th. But this is not the same Tacoma Stars team that the Empire has seen on 4 occasions. In fact, with the signings that head coach Adam Becker and company have, one would venture to guess that if there was ever a time for Tacoma to get a road win, it would be now, with the likes of the all-time leading scorer in the Major Arena Soccer League, that man right there, Frank Tayu, 12 points shy of a career 600. His brother Uzi Tayu, a defensive juggernaut. Clayson DeLima, the backup keeper. And Rafael Cox, not only just the brother of Jamel Cox, but Rafael Cox out of the University of Washington, an MLS Cup winner in 2009 with Real Salt Lake. This is going to be a slugfest, Coach.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch Rafael play tonight. You know, in the warm-ups, in the possession that they had, he was really dictating tempo and calming guys down. And that's sort of what Tacoma needs, especially on the road, some of that veteran leadership. Obviously, with the goal scoring coming in with Frank and, you know, the additions, it's going to be great. But it's really going to be how do they react on the floor and how do they take that leadership. You know, how does the leadership ascend to actually lead tonight for Tacoma?
And with that being said, we are underway. Strikers Abdul Mansoure tries to draw first blood, but we see Frank Tayu playing the defensive end of the turf today. Frank Tayu, as we mentioned, a juggernaut of offensive prowess and power. The all-time leading scorer in the history of the Major Arena Soccer League, a player that belongs on the Mount Rushmore of the game, along with San Diego's Craig Childs, Nick Pereira, Ian Bennett, so many others you could put on this Mount Rushmore. But when you have 588 points, that speaks very loudly.
Indeed, and you know, that work rate, we talked about Craig and Nick earlier in the season. We're doing that work rate when the Strikers were on him a little bit. Shot there. And so Frank coming back, working hard, sending a message to his team. I'm not here just to score goals. I'm here to win games.
And also his return to Tacoma's Tyler John is an incredibly important member of this Stars team. Starting in between the sticks, you saw that man right there with the neon green, beautiful neon green jersey, I should say, and that of Luis Birueta. He's had his struggles and his injuries this season as Brandon Gomez, the keeper, denying Alessandro Canali, who scored a Goal of the Year candidate here just a couple of weeks ago. I gave it the good golly old Molly, what a strike by a Canali call, and I have no idea who Molly is, by the way, and I've never said that in my life. But there's Canali on the ball, spinning past the Strikers captain and defensive dynamo in that of Robert Palmer. Strikers regain possession as Qudus Lawal finds himself in traffic, manages to divert the traffic to Steven Chavez. He's being pressured extensively by Yahir Romero, who recently had a nice 2-goal game.
So that was a little different for the Stars, kind of pressing a little bit after Canali off the wally, win of the ball.
I like what you did there. And there's Alessandro Romero tracking back his Lawal.
He's got to hit that.
Qudus Lawal did a good job getting back because Yahir Romero had some space, but it's going to be a restart in a dangerous territory for Tacoma and getting ready to take over on the restart is the captain, Caceres. Caceres was a member of this organization, the Ontario Fury, at some point, but spent quite a bit of time in Tacoma at Medellin, Colombia. His shot, and he scores! Tacoma draws first blood, beating Brandon Gomez. It is now 1-0.
Talk about painting corners. He just looked at that, saw that little bend in the far stick there, kind of look, just lulling, and then boop, just bends that in. Just wonderful strike from the Stars.
5th goal of the season for the captain, 16 points on the year, and Tacoma strikes first. You have to reiterate the fact that they have not won on the road. Can they be turning the corner here with their playoff lives on the line? They do have a game in hand on the Empire, but with the way Tacoma's been performing on the road, and 4 of their next 5, including this game, on the road, every game counts. For the Strikers, they still have another home game on the 29th. This is a team that's looked hot and cold, yes and no, both home and on the road. And so, with Tacoma taking the early lead here, bodes well for the boys from the Pacific Northwest.
Well, Stars coming in a little different. You know, they were on a tough road trip the last time. They kind of looked a little sluggish. Tonight they're pressing higher, created the situation for the goal and the foul. So, you know, they're looking to get into the playoffs. Zaha,
the Strikers rookie, who had a come-out performance recently where he had himself a brace out of the Ukraine. Originally trained with Dynamo Kiev's youth academy. Zaha, a player that this coaching staff very excited about. But even he has had the injury bug. He's been plagued by a back issue this season. There we see Shalir with the Strikers' most recent hero at St. Charles, Missouri, well, Justin Stinson being one of them, and Leopoldo Polo Hernandez wearing the number 8. Hernandez came off one of his best performances, if not his best performance, playing indoor soccer. And that man right there, Justin Stinson, the all-time leader now in franchise points for the Empire Strykers, had a beautiful come-home moment where he got that goal in front of his home crowd. The Family Arena, where the ambush play is, in fact, the hometown of Justin Stinson, St. Charles, Missouri. So for him to get that goal is amazing. Shalir's shot goes right into the backs of Jamel Cox. There we see Uzi Tayu making his return to the Empire. Tayu, Uzi, for that matter, has had some significant games historically here for this franchise. Diaz fires it into the netting, and that's going to be a goalkeeper restart. As we take a look at our tail of the tape, what are we looking at today, Coach?
We're looking at very similar records there, same number of losses. Tacoma with the 1 game in hand with that, that 8 to 9 in wins. Goals for. Empire a little more proficient on the attack. Tacoma leaking some goals, but those were in blowout games and specific games. So, tail of the tape is great, but tonight, with 4 or 5 games left, playoff on the line, win or go fishing type situation, things stepping, guys are stepping up, and you can see it already.
Cheeky back heel from Tayu as he connected with Hansen, tried to give the pick and roll, pick and pop, but didn't get that as he got stopped.
So we noted earlier Tacoma had the rest. The question now is, can they keep this pace, Philly?
That is a good question. And one where we'll be served with the answer momentarily. I just want to finish my thought on Uzi Tayu, one of Uzi's most arguably significant contributions playing for the Ontario Fury. Most Fury fans will remember the game-winning goal that he scored against the Kansas City Comets back in the 21 season that helped propel the Fury to the Ron Newman Cup Finals, where they would fall here under the bright lights of Toyota Arena to the San Diego Sockers. But it's so strange seeing Uzi Tayu, Frank Tayu, and for that matter, number 12 on Tacoma, Nestor Hernandez and Clayson De Lima, all members of that 21 Cup final team on the opposition. Palmer threads it through across the yellow line into Alan Perez. Perez trying to find his way past Ramos into Ali Somo. Somo in his rookie season has put up some nice numbers for the Strikers this year. Trying to make mincemeat of his defender, Hansen. Threads it through, kicked it out by Ramos. And that's going to fall back to Strikers icon, Andy Reyes. So he goes back to Ali Somo. Somo sitting on 12 points this season, 6 goals to go along with 6 assists. Alan Perez has also had a heck of a year with 9 goals, 7 assists. We see the return of Munir Olami. Olami still the Strikers' leading scorer despite playing 2 fewer games than next up, which is Justin Stinson. Olami with 22 points on the year, 14 goals and 8 assists. Has been MIA as he's been dealing with an injury the last couple of games. Romero finds his way into a Striker sandwich, and our official Servando Berna is going to call for a foul on the turf.
So again, another subtle change from Tacoma, just kind of defending the yellow line there and making, looking to counter Strikers' mistakes going flat. That's what they did there. So little subtle changes thus far working for the Stars. Again, a lot of game left.
Caceres into Jamel Cox, known by his nickname Juice. He is the leading scorer for Tacoma with 13 goals, 8 assists, 21 points. Juice is averaging 1.3 points per game, so keep your eyes on number 11. And coming onto the turf is his brother, Rafael Cox. We talked about him moments ago. He's had on and off seasons playing for Tacoma. Strikers on the counter as Olami has Sudeth. He tries to skirt it past Birueta, and Luis not to be fooled.
That was well played by Carrera, the way he dropped, angled, and defended the runner as well as the player on the ball. Very good. Key thing for the Cox brothers, Philly, is I believe it was 4 points. The last time they played together, in the victory. They got 4 points on the floor there, so a lot of points in those two guys.
Yeah, Rafael did have an assist in his last game. Coming into this matchup, he does have 90 games played historically with the Stars, but the last time he's played more than 20, you'd have to go back to that 2017-2018 season. Here's a gentleman that's got some championship pedigree, as he did play for that RSL team that beat the LA Galaxy in 2009 for the MLS Cup. He did play in 6 games. I think he managed to score a goal, but a ring's a ring, and that's pretty cool as Canali, with the touch, bashes it off of the wall. The header! What an incredible play for the Tacoma Stars as they managed to score yet another goal. Nani Mendoza off the wall, a score, a bash by Canali. It is 2-0 Tacoma, and that's going to lead us to our first break in the action as we take a look at that replay once again.
That's the free kick goal.
Exquisite goal. 7:12 remaining here. Tacoma with a 2-0 lead.
I'm so excited.
Buenos dias.
We are bred to be storytellers.
Welcome to Inland Edition, conversations working to make the Inland Empire a better place.
Welcome to the Ontario Airport Hotel and Conference Center, where convenience meets comfort. Just 5 minutes from Ontario Airport and only 30 seconds from Toyota Arena, we are right in the heart of the IE and home to your Empire Strykers watch parties. Whether you're traveling, catching a game, or hosting your next big event, we have everything you need, from a full snack bar and pool to real-time flight tracking and flexible event spaces for groups of all sizes. Trusted by teams, fans, and the community, Ontario Airport Hotel and Conference Center is proud to be the Empire's most trusted hotel.
MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League. All the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. Soccer Signal. ASL. Staff writer Joseph Reyna and veteran coach Mark Litton explain the game with perspectives from both sides of the glass, with data analysis, breakdowns, and interviews from coaches around the league. Soccer Signal is shown every other Thursday on MASL TV. Time for some AI, folks, and we're not talking artificial intelligence, we're talking Artie's insights. What we got?
Well, looking at the Strikers, they needed to start fast and don't look back. And, we kind of see they had a 2v1 there on the challenge where Carrera defended it well. They weren't able to do that, so they've got to improve there. And then don't overwork the boards. You saw on the wall of score there, they overworked the boards once again, which has been an Achilles heel, and they got caught for the goal. For the Stars, they've got to break the early press, which the Strikers haven't really been able to do as of yet, and then catch the road train. So basically, what I'm saying there is, when the game starts, the train starts, and if you do the work, if you're behind and you don't do extra work to catch it, you're never going to catch the train. And we've already talked about the subtle changes thus far for the Stars, and so they're catching that train.
And riding the train they are. Riding the train to success is Canali. Registers his second assist of the season, and Nani Mendoza with his 8th goal. I could tell you, having Romanian as my first language, Nani would be a fun term to say going to sleep in Romanian. And going to sleep is exactly what the Strikers defense did there. But waking up alive, very much so the case on offense, as the rookie Zaha came close to beating Birueta. As we have a
4 seconds.
There you go. Thank you. Took the words right out of my mouth.
I'm a thief.
You're a kleptomaniac is what you are. Grand theft larceny of vocabulary.
Wait a minute. Are we finishing our sentences now, Philly?
I mean, this is what happens when you work with one another for a while. And you and I have had the luxury and privilege of having worked together for a number of years.
Indeed, sir.
It's been a fun year. I've said it multiple times. I do enjoy calling these games with you thoroughly. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Absolutely. So right there, Birueta has 4 seconds to get off the ball. He didn't, so a free kick for Strikers.
Somo into Stinson. Stinson trying to find his way past Ramos. Ramos, a longtime member of the Stars and one of their leaders offensively, goes into Somo. Somo and Romero, two very young, highly talented players in the Major Arena Soccer League. Pass comes into Hernandez. Over to Zaha. Zaha, as we mentioned, is a rookie campaign out of the Ukraine. Managed to get the paperwork all in order and got the green light to play. And a very talented youngster. Stinson, now the franchise leader in points, goes into the player of the last match, Polo Hernandez. So now we're seeing a bit more of what the Strikers like to do, control possession, utilizing their keeper as well as a part of it, as Brandon Gomez is well outside of his box. Gomez had one heck of a goal recently in the Strikers' most recent contest. Alami gets his way past Tyler John and Ramos, but Birueta comes through. Cleaned up, and Stinson going to quickly track back. Stinson, who got his start playing for the St. Louis Ambush, had a tryout where found his way scoring a hat trick wearing a pair of old Vans in front of then coach Everton Moreira. And at that point, once he became a rookie, I think he was making $80 a week playing indoor. Has got to a place where he's earning significant money and has been able to provide a nice life for him and his family. Palmer into Gomez. Gomez shoots, misses it off of the wall, collected by Diaz Gonzalez. Diaz Gonzalez out of Havana, Cuba, along with his Strikers teammate Barbaro Chalier. What these two youngsters have in common is the fact that they both played for the Cuban national futsal team. In baseball-crazed Cuba, playing soccer is a fascinating change, as that attempt goes above the crossbar, but the officials are going to blow a whistle, and it's going to be a change of possession.
Yeah, they got Alami there probably for a pick.
Birueta launches it all the way to Canali, and Palmer's going to have his work cut out for him, going up against the likes of Alessandro out of Venice Beach, California, by the way, a street soccer icon here in the LA area. California through and through, got signed late in the season. Canali has played on the Beach national soccer team along with his former teammates for Tacoma, Nick Pereira, who captained that side, and Chris Toth, who many of you will recall got the shutout against the Strikers in the last home game that we had here at Toyota Arena. In fact, Chris Toth presides over the only two shutouts in Strikers franchise history. There we see Chalier into Stinson, and that one just gets clipped and misses the net. Strikers still with the pressure here as we're approaching the 3:20 mark here in the first quarter. Pass comes in to Chalier, back to Stinson. Stinson shoots, that comes off of Correa and Hansen. Chalier has it, still trying to find his first goal as a member of the Strikers. He does have 11 to his credit, but all in the Northeast playing for Utica City FC.
So Stars just leaving specific spaces available for Strikers to play. So Strikers have to really start to impose their will. Chilier's great feet there. But if you notice, they're getting little bumps as they're making vertical runs. The Stars are putting a little bump on guys. So they're coming here to play physical tonight.
Somo against Cox, off the wall. Chavez scores, bottom right corner, where the dust mites dwell. Empire comes into the lead. It is now 2-1.
Again, just moving the ball very effectively to get to one side to the other, and then the wall of Scora. In that situation, the Stars just kind of got lost overworking the boards. So, game on.
Game on is what we thought we would see, no question about it. Steven Chavez now with his 7th goal of the year, 13 points, 7 goals, 6 assists. There is your math as it is mathing. With 2:38 to go here in the first, Empire go from turf to twine. Ramos against Ben Sudduth, who, despite the fact that the Strikers got skunked at home, Sudduth played a very good defensive game. Out of Chicago, Illinois, did start his indoor career playing for the Chicago Mustangs in the M2. There we see Palmer hitting the deck, getting up quickly, going up against his former teammate, Frank Tayu. Lawal, who came over from the Milwaukee Wave as a free agent. What a scrum in the corner. The beauty of indoor. That opens things up. Empire on a counter. The advance to Sudduth. Sudduth back to Lawal. Cutis. Sudeth trying to find Mansoure. Saved by Birueta. A Birueta blockade stems the momentum of the Strikers as they had the numbers and the counter.
Yeah, in that situation, maybe just one too many passes.
Chavez chips it over the midfield. Alami sprinting past Tayu. Back over to Lawal to Munir. Munir off track. Collected by Caceres, who got the goal scoring started early here for Tacoma and for both teams for that matter. He's going to sit there and reset everything as we are approaching the 60-second mark.
Reset's a great term because you can see there the game changed dramatically once the Strikers were able to start running again. So Tacoma's got to mitigate that as well as creating chances themselves.
Strikers have a lot of youth that serves them well. Tacoma with a sprinkle of youth and veteran leadership. Romero to Cox. Gets stripped by Diaz-Gonzalez. And in turn, taken back. Romero's got Cox. The shot kick saved by Gomez.
Great save.
Gomez, the denier, smashes it off of the wall and prevents Tacoma from taking a 2-goal lead.
Just great reactions, just going down quickly. I pulled a hamstring watching it.
You and me both, buddy. Going to be a restart here for Caceres and the Stars as we have 36 seconds remaining here in the quarter. Mansoure, Chavez, Reyes, Palmer, and Sudeth on the turf. There we see John, Caceres, Ramos, Cox, and Tayu. It's a scary lineup if you're Tacoma. A lot of very capable and talented players. Tacoma, despite not winning on the road, hard team to beat at home, coming off of a recent win against Kansas City. Almost a fatal mistake by Gomez. Sudeth, less than 10 seconds remaining, tries to clean it up. Ramos gets it back, 4 seconds remaining. Can Tacoma fire one more off? That is the final horn. But we've already seen 3 goals here in the first 15 minutes. If this is any indication as to what we're going to see the rest of this game, we're going to have a lot of entertainment. This may be a Texas saying. The Stars at night are big and bright, but not in the heart of Texas. It's in the heart of Ontario as Tacoma takes a 2-1 lead going into this break. We're going to step aside for a moment. You are watching the Major Arena Soccer League on KVCR PBS. Back on the other side of this window.
You want the best, most advanced treatment available. We know there's strength and expertise. That's why for over 50 years, we've been a trusted provider of heart and vascular care in the region, specializing in minimally invasive surgical techniques, from treating infants born with heart defects to performing complex endovascular procedures. Our specialists are here to support strong, healthy hearts. Loma Linda University International Heart Institute. Many strengths, one mission.
Today in America, 11 million children are living in poverty, in desperate need of food, academic support, and stable housing. Children who face staggering challenges and who are more likely to experience health problems and fall behind in school. This is hope. At Hope Through Housing, we provide children with the support they need to dream, learn, and break the cycle of poverty. Your gift today can make a world of difference in the life of a child.
Funding for this program is presented by September's Tap Room and Eatery. More information at septembers.com.
Here for giggles. Here for support. Here for healing. Here for courage. Here for moments. San Antonio Regional Hospital. here for life.
MASL Mondays shown every Monday night on MASL TV and on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Alex Bostravansky and Phil Ivanko are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's games and discuss the league's hot topics.
Loma Linda University Health and the Inland Empire Strykers have come together to support our community with a shared focus on health and fitness. The partnership reinforces both organizations' commitment to helping families thrive on and off the field. Together, we aim to build a stronger, healthier future for our Inland Empire region. Funding this program is presented by MGR Real Estate, providing commercial sales and leasing, residential sales and leasing, residential and commercial property management, and homeowner association management. MGR Real Estate Services, proud sponsors of the Empire Strykers.
After the first quarter, Empire would have the lion's share of shots, 8-3, as we once again welcome our viewers tuning in on KVCR PBS. First goal of the game was scored unassisted by Alex Caceres. Second goal of the game would be a Wallace scorer by Alessandro Canali, connecting in with Nani Mendoza. And for the Strykers, Ali Somo and Steven Chavez managed to score the first goal, and that's what we have here. 8 shots for the Strykers, 3 for the Stars, and a 66.66% conversion rate for Tacoma. A stellar start for the Stars.
Yeah, given the first quarter to the Stars, obviously from the score, but also the way that they played. Now the Strykers have to continue to create those situations to run. They created a great, isolation on the goal. So I would look to them to do that further.
As we see Kai Briscoe enter the field of battle, Briscoe gets stripped by Stinson. Stinson goes back over to Hernandez. Alan Perez wide open, collecting the pass from his former UC Riverside teammate. Perez, look at Frank Tayu. A couple of incredible defensive plays, stopping the Strykers on some counterattacks. Frank Tayu, very well known for his ability to affect the offensive output of a game, but really showing everybody here that the Kings all about some defense today as well.
It's playoff time, Philly. Everybody's got to do what they need to do to get the result. So, just a different type of mentality right now.
I know in a recent interview with San Diego Soccer's broadcaster Craig Elston, Frank Tayu was asked, what do you have left to accomplish in your illustrious career, King? I believe that was the question. I may be paraphrasing it somewhat incorrectly, but one thing Frank Tayu has not accomplished in his incredible career indoor is winning a championship. He's come very close as a member of Sonora, the Monterey Flash, the Empire, the then Ontario Fury. Had a nice run with the Milwaukee Wave last season. And had a lot of interesting things to say. Once he discovered that Marcio Leite took over as head coach of Milwaukee, might have changed Frank's decision as to whether or not he would have stayed in the Midwest. But went to Sonora, played in the M2 most recently. He's got business going on in Mexico, but I echo the words of my colleague and friend Craig Elston in the fact that the MASL is much better when the Tayu brothers are back. Uzi and Frank, for that matter.
Got Brian Orozco in the goal now, Philly.
Good eyes. The Strykers do have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to keepers, and they will cycle through. It'll either be Orozco normally getting the start or Gomez. 2 players that have managed to score today. Clayson DeLima, the third keeper of the Empire Strykers, is now the backup keeper on the bench currently for the Tacoma Stars. So Danny Waltman did not make the trip. Getting the start is Luis Birueta. Birueta, a fantastic keeper. Also has his own property and casualty insurance company, which is very impressive. I know, having a lot of conversations with his teammates, he has quite a bit to travel on a daily basis to train with the Tacoma Stars, and Birueta has been spoken about highly in this organization for a number of years, and we welcome him back to Toyota Arena. And I love the fact that his jersey matches his shoes. As a man who likes wearing colorful attire, I applaud Tacoma's goalkeeper uniforms. Steven Chavez, with the only goal for the Strykers, passes it over to Alami. Alami out of Morocco here in his second season in the MASL. Last year was on the short list for newcomer of the year. Steven Chavez last season played with the Texas Outlaws and was a shining gem in a team that otherwise very challenged. Diaz-Gonzalez, he's going to get fouled by Cox on the wall. And with there being 2 Cox brothers on the turf for Tacoma, we will refer to Jamail as Juice and his brother as Raphael, to not say their last name multiple times and confuse the fans. Raphael wearing 23, Jamail, aka Juice, wearing 11. Diaz-Gonzalez, the pass into Palmer. Palmer, who is one of the multi-time defensive player of the year in the MASL. One of the greatest to play the game, and I only recently found out that he is #1 on the all-time short-handed goals list in the history of the MASL, which is now over 12 seasons.
So that's a pretty good pick if you saw it right there just a second ago. It's an interesting part of the game that's kind of evolving.
There's a shot, near opportunity for Mendoza to get his 2nd goal of the game. When the Strykers utilize their keeper, there are times where they've turned it over these past 2 years and they've gotten beat. In that case, with Mendoza, the Strykers were very fortunate that he had the distance, he didn't have the direction. As Orozco well outside of his box. Orozco, an outstanding young talent out of Riverside, California, and Guatemala City for that matter. Headed up and into the stands by Luis Birueta, the keeper of Tacoma. Strykers gain it back on the restart. Hernandez in the Zaha. Stinson weighing his options. Stinson last season was 1 goal shy of winning the Golden Boot Award in the MASL. That would be an award given to the then Chihuahua Savages Jorge Rios. As Ali Somo goes off the wall, Strykers regain possession here. 5 minutes into the quarter, and it seems as if the Strykers have controlled all possession as Somo goes directly into the breadbasket of Birueta.
Yeah, we've seen that right there twice in a row now where, you know, the Stars were looking to kind of go quickly to the goal when it really wasn't there. And all it ended up being was a turnover and a change of possession. So just Tacoma's got to do a little better job of just kind of managing these situations and understanding they're up 2-1. Obviously, they're not going to sit on this lead, but they also don't want to give away frivolous giveaways and give extra opportunities to a team that wants to run.
Off the wall, Tayu trying to create some space. Yahir Romero. And for a moment there, I think we all held on to our breath as Tayu did have the spacing on Polo Hernandez. He intercepts the pass intended for Tayu. On the counter goes the Strykers. Hernandez, not sure if he realizes that Tayu was behind him. And look, Frank Tayu playing one heck of a game defensively. He's made 3 tackles in this game that have denied Empire on 3 clean looks at goal.
Definitely making a statement on the defensive end tonight.
Zaha into Reyes. Reyes into Palmer. Palmer out of Kingston, Jamaica, a Park University Pirate Hall of Famer. Reyes into Diaz-Gonzalez. There we see him marked by Nestor Hernandez, a beloved figure here in the Inland Empire. Zaha gets taken down as we see Tyler John. Not sure what he said, obviously, with as high as we are up, but no whistle called and we resume play. Tyler John, we see that his hand is wrapped up. As Birueta goes in the Canali. We've seen what Canali can do on one touch.
I'm pretty sure he said, "May you please get up, my fine sir."
That's probably paraphrased 100% accurately.
I'm pretty good at lip reading, Philly. I think that's what he said.
One thing we did not note at the top of the broadcast, and forgive us for that, there is no Marco Fabian on the field today. Many of you wanting to see the Mexican international legend. We were told by the coaching staff that it is due to roster rotation reasons and a coach's decision. Marco Fabian, we were told, should travel in the Strykers' next game, and wanting to keep the Mexican talisman legend as fresh as can be as the team goes on the road facing a tough Milwaukee Wave team. And I think this is the second time this season that the Strykers have gone on the road. Fabian did not travel in that game. And can't deny the wonderful people of Milwaukee the ability to see somebody of the likes of Marco Fabian.
Yeah, he's a joy to watch.
Absolutely. Fabian making the transition from outdoor to indoor. Fabian played for Mexico on a number of occasions on their World Cup team, most notably in that 2018 World Cup where Germany was defeated by Mexico. Ramos between Sudeth and Perez, smacks it off the wall into Uzi. Uzi, who does have a machine gun of a leg. Uzi, along with Frank Tayu, out of Cameroon, collegially played Division I soccer in the Big East for the West Virginia Volunteers. Not sure if you've been to Morgantown, Artie. That's a heck of a place to go to school. Great party town, too, by the way.
Yeah, I've never had an opportunity to travel that region of the country.
Oh, a beautiful region, and they love their Mountaineers at West Virginia. Sudeth kicks it right into the Stars bench, trying to find Mansoure, but with 6:49 remaining here in the half, that's going to take us to immediate timeout. The score remains the same as it did to end the first quarter. It is the Stars with a 2-1 lead, and we shall see you on the other side of this commercial break.
Are you looking for inspiration? The FYI podcast shares powerful stories from people like NFL Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson, Gabrielle Walsh, star of NBC's hit show Bound. You'll learn all about mindset and what it takes to navigate, overcome, and persevere through any challenges that life puts in front of you. If you're ready to be inspired, subscribe to the Finding Your Inspiration podcast.
We would like to thank our official hotel sponsor, Ontario Airport Hotel and Conference Center, a Hyatt affiliate hotel located 2 miles from the Ontario International Airport and 4 miles from the Ontario Convention Center. Hope Through Housing, empowering children and families in the Inland Empire and beyond through after-school programs and financial coaching. To learn more and see how it is making a difference, visit hopethroughhousing.org. San Antonio Regional Hospital is a proud sponsor of the Empire Strykers, keeping our communities strong, healthy, and active for over 115 years. San Antonio Regional Hospital, here for life.
Let me tell you something about the Ontario International Airport Hotel. It's got one of the most comfortable beds I've ever slept in. You got some of the best wings at the Crossbar Bar and Grill, dedicated to the Empire Strykers. And that's typically where the after party is. Frank Tayu, and he scores! The King wields his mighty scepter in his return to Toyota Arena, his former palace, putting the Stars up by a score of 3-1. That is now Tayu's 6th goal in 4 games.
Just again, Juice Cox going on his acceleration right here. Gets off, Wallace score a little over, the rookie Ben Sudeth just might have, he needed to tuck in just a little bit and account for the runner and the board. Got caught watching, defending with your eyes never works in indoor soccer. Great finish by Frank.
And Frank, we identified as a potential problem for the Strykers. And if that man gets going, it's going to be a tough night. 6 goals on the year, 4 games played. He is now 11 points shy of a career total of 600.
I'll tell you how important defending is, Philly. The mentality that it creates within a player. You saw Frank on that situation miss the initial challenge, or miss the initial shot. We'll see a chance here.
Shalier's attempt, and Ramos got in the way. Otherwise, Shalier would have collected his 12th goal of the campaign. Briscoe doesn't have anywhere to go, identifies that, And goes backwards as Correa to Birueta. You were saying?
But just to finish that thought, right? So Frank come back, you said it yourself, three incredible tackles coming back with that mentality of the work rate and fight and grit. It presented itself there on the finishing because, in Frank's world, that was an easy chance that he missed, but he just worked back to get it.
Canali just gets the wrong end of his boot on that attempt, recollected by Yahir Romero. Speaking with Romero earlier in the day, played at TST for Villarreal, and there's a good chance he will be back on that team. For those who haven't tuned into the TST, the soccer tournament, it'll be the 4th season. It is a 7v7 outdoor small-sided tournament in which the winning team gets $1 million. And all 3 years, all 3 winners have been teams featuring nothing but MASL talent as that one bounces and ricochets into the netting.
That was off Alan. I think Alan Perez. See if the refs get this right.
No, it looked like it came off of Alami.
Sorry. Yeah. Alan hit it first.
Alan did ricochet.
Yeah.
It takes its bounce.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a goalkeeper restart. Last season, the TST was won by a team called Bumpy Pitch, which was primarily a team made up of players from the Empire Strykers and the San Diego Sockers. The year prior to that was a team called La Bombonera, primarily made up of a team called the Chihuahua Savage. And the year prior to that was Newtown Pride, which was led by Onuo Bassi, the Strikers head coach. So over 120 or so players the last time around in TST, so keep your eyes out on that as Tayu is going to get called for barreling over his former teammate, Robert Palmer. And on the restart, that goes directly into Frank's feet, but you got to applaud Frank's effort defensively. Frank sometimes takes the criticism of not tracking back, not always playing defense, but that's not the case, nor have we seen that to be the case. And if anybody's wondering whether or not he still has it, well, we can tell you, having witnessed that scissor kick that he just scored, he still got it. You've had the luxury and privilege of coaching a player the likes of Frank Tayu. Tell us a little bit about that.
Frank does what Frank does. I said in the pregame, he's a goal scorer. He's a committed attacking player. But he does get that, that knock on occasion that he'll, take some repetitions off in defending. But like I said tonight, you got to give credit where credit's due. Whoever says that, they may very well be right. But tonight, they are not. And, we live in the present, and we said, this is playoff time, and Frank's stepping up. The one thing he has not done is won a championship, and you can see he has that mentality. So you've got to respect that. Whatever your opinion is, you've got to respect that fact.
Top of the arc restart here for Tacoma. It'll either be Mendoza or Romero. He does have Ramos in on that near post. Tayu wide open to the left, and Caceres all the way to the right. Romero tried to serpentine it in past the wall of the Empire Strykers. No dice on that slither in.
He had that little shimmy. He was hoping for a little crease to open up, and they said nope.
Tayu,
no suit for you.
With the turnaround, saved. And you just see how easily he had the pass and the turn with Ben Suddeth marking him. I mean, there's a good 5 or 6 inches, maybe not that many, between Suddeth and Tayu, but still a recognizable enough change. And that's Frank's game. He likes to get the ball past him in the box, likes to muscle his defender out and with a turn, burn, and fire, and it's worked more often than it hasn't.
And, when he stays, that's a tough matchup for young Suddeth, a rookie kind of going against someone who's played the amount of time and had the success that Frank has had. So, he's doing his best, but at the end of the day, you just got to know the characteristics of the spin and the turn, and you want to make Frank a passer, and that's when he's not as effective when he becomes the passer, and so that's the key for the youngster to kind of figure that part out.
Well, Frank does have a fair amount of assists to his credit. Not this season, but historically for sure. As we see Orozco well outside of his box, right in that midfield. Stinson turns and fires it. The rebound to Alami. And just to make another comment about Frank's contributions outside of goals, he does have 150 career assists throughout the course of 226 games. Tayu averaging 2.6 points per game. That's outstanding.
Yeah, he creates chances and situations. So, like I said, whatever your thoughts are of him, you got to respect that part of it. But at the end of the day, when you turn him into a passer, given that the lesser of two evils, that's what you need to do.
The pass broken up by Correa, as the intended target was Mansoret. Sudeth heads it to Chavez. Chavez still the only goal scorer for the Strykers. And funny enough, goals have been hard to come by for the Empire these last 2 games. No goals in their last game, only 1 today. This is a team that averages a little over 5 per game. Mansoret with Chavez on that far end. Mansoret, the speedster, save, rebound. Mansoret comes back up with it. Chavez, Correa making the block.
And that's another veteran, Mike Ramos, been in the league a while. Been here for a minute, tracking back, working his butt off to come back and defending on the ground. Tacoma's here to play tonight, Philly, and it's creating a nice, exciting game here.
And Correa stepping into the line of fire, which makes sense. Outside of his job of playing indoor soccer, Correa, a firefighter with the Tacoma Fire Department. Diaz-Gonzalez, top of the arc restart. To Stinson. Stinson tees off and into Uzi Tayu's back.
Yeah, I think Justin would want that one back. I mean, Uzi goes down 98% of the time right there, so I'm pretty sure Justin would like the different technique on that finish.
And he goes once again, cleared off by Caceres. Caceres also a goal scorer, and Stinson's going to get taken down. Foul on Tayu, and Uzi is a little livid against Servando Berna. But the restart, Diaz-Gonzalez with Hernandez in front of him. The quick footwork, look at him clear the space, and he's going to get tripped up and fouled by Nestor.
I'd like to see the replay on this one. So Walter kind of coming in, looking at the ISO. He's got him on his heels a little bit. Dips him. Cuts. Ooh. I don't know. That's continuation in the NBA, isn't it?
Well, wrong sport. And we haven't had basketball here since the Clippers moved down to Oceanside.
Well, we were watching the game earlier, so
that's true
in my mind.
Stinson on the restart. Fired in. No goal by Shalir. Spirueta gets involved. Cox clears it back over to Stinson. Under 2 remaining. Stinson right off of the legs of Uzi. And Uzi is fired up in his return to Toyota Arena. We know he's worked extensively in the past with the Strykers head coach Obasi. Another goal, ding-dong, ring-a-ling-a-ling by Stinson as he chips the paint off of the woodwork. Zaha just above the crossbar. Recovered by Stinson. There we see just the flash of fancy footwork. Stinson, just an incredible dribbler, juggler, midfielder, and with one of the most entertaining hair games in the MASL. Diaz-Gonzalez, kick saved by Birueta and into the netting. Luis, in his first game this season against the Strykers here in Toyota Arena, is doing a heck of a job keeping the Strykers from striking goal.
Yeah, they're putting a lot on him. I mean, they're giving away the shots from distance. They don't want to get broken down. Birueta's stepped up for the challenge thus far.
Zaha overcooks it, and that's going to be a goalkeeper restart for Tacoma.
I really think Strykers should start looking at isolating players, like Justin. You got to get him his shots. I mean, he was just starting to get into a cycle of scoring goals. And so, you got to give the kid the opportunities and chances, just, again, using the basketball. You got to give guys their shots to have them hit them.
Sudeth poking it away from Tayu, enabling Palmer to create the go-ahead opportunity for Empire. Shalir, with under a minute to go, passes it back to the Strykers captain. Shalir skirts it in. Another save by Birueta. He's going to roll it into Caceres. Caceres, who once called Ontario home. Yahir gets dispossessed and then recovers. We saw Shalir almost tug at the jersey. Shalir is going to come back. The bodies are hitting the floor as Orozco has it, but has nobody to connect with as Ramos now has it for Tacoma. Under 20 seconds remaining here in the half. Can Tacoma belt one more towards the Strykers. Birueta tries to find Tayu, and that's going to take a bounce. And leaping in is Orozco with 4 seconds, really nowhere to go. Palmer is just going to let it hit the recovery lap dasher board, and that's going to end the first half here. And we were wanting to see fireworks here in Toyota Arena. The Stars at night have been big and bright, deep in the heart of Ontario for the Pacific Northwest contingent. Excellent start, excellent half for Tacoma.
Very good start for Tacoma, but I think, right there with 6 seconds left, and with Brian just playing it short, you saw Berto just walk away from it. It's kind of systemic to them and what's created problems for them. I would have liked to see, Brian Orozco just, give that ball a hook. Give it a chuck and see what they can do and create a chance. I mean, they've got to get running for the Strykers. The Stars, the game plan working to perfection thus far, but the points aren't earned after 2 quarters, Philly. They got 2 more to go.
And we are going to hear from the Strykers head coach, Onuo Obasi, who was last season's head coach of the year in the Major Arena Soccer League, as he is going to have a quick dialogue with our sideline correspondent, Amanda Philemon. We are just waiting for the connection and the reflection as we see some of the faithful here at Toyota Arena. And so, yeah, send it down to the field. Amanda Philemon, as she's standing by with head coach of the Strykers, Onuo Obasi.
Hey guys, I'm here with Coach Onuo Obasi. Playoff implications on the line. We knew this was going to be a physical battle. What adjustments would you like to see at the half to get the Strykers back into this game?
Yeah, I think the difference is they've been clinical. The chances they had, I think we've created probably the same amount of chances and more, but they've just finished their chances. So I think obviously just making sure we keep our shots in the field. I think we've shot 4 or 5 over the bar at this point. So if they stay in the field, that's another chance to attack. So I think just cleaning up our finishing, we're creating chances, and they're going to have some chances. It's indoor football, so they're going to have chances, but we've got to be a lot more clinical in those key moments.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've outshot them 16-5. So obviously going down at the half 3-1, what do you like, and what would you like to try to continue doing in the second half to keep them in this matchup?
Yeah, I think what we're doing offensively is working. I think earlier we might have been a little too respectful of them in possession, and they were able to create a few good looks and 2 good goals off the boards. So I think it's important that we step up and we put them under pressure when they have the ball. But offensively, we have to keep creating that level of chances and score our goals,
Well, we got a whole second half left. Good luck to you guys. We'll see you there.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
All right, back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thank you, Panda. As we just heard from Onuo Obasi, 17-5 is actually what the shot total would finish off. 3-1, though, in favor of the Stars. They have managed to score 3 goals on the 5 attempts that they had, so they've been far more clinical than Empire has.
Well, certainly. The higher the quality, the closer the finishes. The Strykers had some tight finishes, up-close finishes they couldn't put away, and that's really the difference. So it's just a matter of, again, they do what they do. They got to get running.
Well, folks, it's a thirsty Thursday night on this tussle here in the MASL. So halftime here, Tacoma 3-1. We'll see you after halftime.
For 30 years, National Core has been transforming lives, building communities where our residents and neighbors can thrive, and providing homes for your Empire Strykers. Affordable, high-quality, secure housing. National Core, home of the Empire Strykers.
Corky's Homestyle Kitchen and Bakery, where good food and good feelings come standard. Our team serves up an array of made-from-scratch, homestyle favorites for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with fresh-baked goodies straight from the oven. Inspired by Grandma Corky herself, every dish is made with the freshest ingredients and a heaping helping of love. Her spirit lives on in every bite, filling more than just your belly. It fills your heart, too. So come join our family here at Corky's, where friendly faces, honest cooking, and quality food are just the way we do things.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
Society has an obligation to help others when others are struggling. Families can become distressed because they lose their father. Now a mother's forced to raise their 3 children. How does she get a job? How does she create the means to take care of her kids?
For nearly 30 years, National Core and Hope Through Housing have changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of individuals, providing housing, offering hope, transforming communities. National Core and Hope Through Housing, building the future of community.
The Panda Filament here inside the vault again today with another player interview, and today I am led by the Empire Strykers captain himself, Berto Palmer. Berto, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you. You are a blocking extraordinaire, I'd have to say, within this team. You have done such an amazing job in that. But let's start from the roots. You grew up in Jamaica and ended up here in the U.S. Talk to me a little bit about what it was like playing soccer in Jamaica.
I just think it was, a bit different, and, it's just the way of life and the culture there. Just playing, just remembering right now, playing without shoes, kind of just one ball to share throughout the whole community, and you can't be the one to pop the ball, even if the ball is, kind of ripped, we have to, let it out, sew it up, like, just the whole care, and kind of, playing bare feet, which is kind of fun until you get a cut on your toe and you get a beating from your parents because you can't wear shoes or can't wear shoes to school. So it's just, but I wouldn't change all that memories that I had growing up, and just now thinking about it, playing without shirt, playing just unorganized soccer, and it's kind of what stuff that I've learned there that I've, no coach, I think, just can't just prepare you for, to where, there's a lot of fights, a lot of love the next day, a lot of, it's just like kind of siblings too, you kind of, today we're on the same team and the next day, I don't want to play with you, then the other day I want to play with you. So, just bring back memories, playing back home, and that's how it was for me. And it's just something, just every day, it seems like the norm.
Right.
For me growing up, like, my mom used to kind of scold me to stay inside rather than be outside, because we were always outside.
You always wanted to play.
Yep, always want to play.
Of course. Now, we're in a very important part of the season. Playoffs are on the line. Tonight's a very important game. As the captain of this team, what is something that you're telling your teammates going into tonight's game to really get them pumped up and ready and focused on the ultimate goal here?
Just now, even just thinking about it, kind of wish where we weren't in this situation to where, I could hear talk to you more, but not what we put ourselves in. But end of the day, we control our own destiny, and we kind of put ourselves in this situation where we're at, and we just have to go out there and put on a show. I think you look at it, even through the season, we just kind of been relatively hot, sometimes cold, and get even cold, to where and the fans, they deserve it. You look at last game, we didn't score a goal, and I think it's always us in Tacoma. You look at it in a sense, whether it's we're doing conference or we're doing one table.
Yep.
It seems like it's just us. So we just have to go there. And for me, I always look at maybe being the elder man on the team and the other one, to where every game matters so much to me, because you reach that point to where, like, you never know next season or what's gonna happen, so I know we will have younger players, and I try to tell them, like, I used to be like you. You know, some of my veterans or leaders used to be like getting on us to, and I used to not, I know the meaning, but not realize till now I'm on that side of fans to realize. So from day one, every game just kind of mattered for me. And, you know, tonight for sure is extra, you know, because, you know, the whole, the meaning behind this game, you know, and it's crunch time. So we just got to go there and execute and, you know, put on a show.
I'm excited. Look, what I heard is do it for Berto. I think that's what we need from everybody tonight. So I can't wait to see how tonight's matchup shakes up. I know you guys are going to put on a show, no doubt. Good luck tonight, and thank you again for sitting here and talking to me, Berto.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me, and hopefully they can do it for themselves and do it for me, of course.
Do it for Berto. Let's go. That's what
I'll follow Panda. Do it for Berto.
I'm going to end it with that for sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Program is presented by September's Tap Room and Eatery. More information at septembers.com.
Hello, Empire Nation. I am Martina Sellers, the CEO of Marcel Wellness Center, and I am so excited to announce this amazing partnership with the Empire Strykers on Score a Lunch with a Striker.
So the students can qualify. We have 3 pillars. So for their academics, their character, and their perseverance. All right, kids, so work hard so that you can get those entries in. Maybe you'll get to meet Coach O.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. I hope to see you guys at the game.
National Core, proud to partner with your Empire Strykers. On the field, in the community, we defend the Empire. Sign up for our free soccer clinics and meet your favorite striker. Community, passion. This is your Empire.
With 6 miles, runway 26 right, right on.
Shoot!
This is MASL in 5. How goes it, folks? I'm Alex Bastiavansky back here in our league studio. Hope all is well in your world. There's a ton to cover today as we look at what's going on in the league right now. So let's get to it.
Ambush down 2-1 early, roared back to a 3-2 lead in the third, and then unfortunately did what they've done a lot in the last few games. Oh, and there it is. Stinson will walk it off. Too easy. They played it slow.
This unpredictable MASL season rolled on last week with Empire taking down formerly first place St. Louis in overtime. The Ambush have now lost 3 straight games, but the real story last week was Baltimore. The Blast started 2026 in a bad way, going 1-4, but since then they have been red hot, hosting Utica on March 6th, the home side, in control the whole way with Kevon Frater nabbing a hat trick to down the Blues 9-5. And then they had to fly cross country to face San Diego on Sunday. Not an easy trip against one of the league's powerhouses, but the Blast reeled off 5 straight second half goals to storm back and drop the Sockers 5-4. Chad Porch, the winner right there, with just $1:12 left on the clock. Milwaukee was hosting Tacoma on the 8th, and forget about it, the Wave in control the entire way, beating up on the Stars 11-4. Oscar Flores had 5 points, Alex Steinwasser 3 as the Stars' road woes continued. It wasn't an entirely lost week for Tacoma, though, as they hosted a struggling Kansas City squad that's gone 2-3 over its last 5 games. The Comets kept it close, but ultimately it was Tacoma edging them 9-7 the final score. And Tacoma's big trade deadline signing, Frank Taiu, has been off the charts so far. The MASL's all-time points leader potted 2 in this game. The man they call the King now has 5 tallies in just 3 games. Tacoma enters this week with just 91 goals scored, by far the fewest in the league, so they definitely can use Frank's offense. And the game that kicked off the week was San Diego at Empire. They've had some serious battles this season, but on this day, it was the Sockers' defense that shone brightly. Chris Toth named the game's first star with the 14-save shutout. Sebastian Mendez had 2 tallies to pace the offense as the Sockers now sit in a tie for first place in the MASL standings with the Baltimore Blast. Your up-to-date scoring leaders now leading the way: Alex Sanchez from Milwaukee, followed by Rian Marquez of KC, then Super Mario Alvarez with 37 points, Sergio Pinal up to 4th with 35 points, and Zach Reggett in 5th with 34 points. And your Capelli players of the week: in goal, Julian Rodriguez from the Baltimore Blast, offensively, Oscar Flores from Milwaukee, and defensively, Chad Porch from the Blast as well. Let's start with Flores, who's just having a ridiculous, and it continued last week. 5 points, 3 goals, 2 assists in just 1 game over the Tacoma Stars. Chad Porch, 2 goals against the San Diego Sockers, and that included the game winner in the dying moments of that contest. And between the posts, his teammate Julian Rodriguez, spectacular as he went 2-0 last week, 17 saves and a .654 save percentage. Time now for your plays of the week.
Limit the Stars' chances, only 10 shots through 3 periods.
Boy, does Flores have that nice touch.
Oh, Super Mario!
Miento trying for heroics. It's Porch all the way down. He's got Welly in the middle of Porch. He scores! They did it again! The Baltimore Blast are the hottest team in the league.
A bit of a run there, but then here's Gomez from the outside. Shot it is! The goal for Gomez!
This is settled for Lennis. Lennis gets it back on the bounce pass. It's off the bar. It's bar down. It finishes.
Can San Diego change it? Yes, they can! Nick!
Stars shorthanded, pushing forward. Cox outside the foot for John. John nutmegs Ejimadu. The Stars score.
And then unfortunately did what they've done a lot in the last few games. Oh, and there it is. Stinson will walk it off. Too easy. They played it slow.
Silla punches it back for Rodriguez. 5 seconds. Ferreira off the boards.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
You've got to be kidding me!
CBS Galazzo, you just saw the goal of the year. Oh my goodness!
And that's things up for this week's show, but just a reminder all throughout the season to stay up on everything that's going on in the MASL. Be sure to check out the league's official social media outlets. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.
Today in America, 11 million children are living in poverty, in desperate need of food, academic support, and stable housing. Children who face staggering challenges and who are more likely to experience health problems and fall behind in school. But there is hope. At Hope Through Housing, we are changing lives. We provide children with the support they need to dream, learn, and break the cycle of poverty. Your gift today can make a world of difference in the life of a child.
I'm so excited.
Buenos dias.
We are bred to be storytellers.
Welcome to Inland Edition, conversations working to make the Inland Empire a better place.
Corky's Homestyle Kitchen and Bakery, where good food and good feelings come standard. Our team serves up an array of made-from-scratch, home-style favorites for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with fresh-baked goodies straight from the oven. Inspired by Grandma Corky herself, every dish is made with the freshest ingredients and a heaping helping of love. Her spirit lives on in every bite, filling more than just your belly. It fills your heart, too. So come join our family here at Corky's, where friendly faces, honest cooking, and quality food are just the way we do things.
And MASL Arena on Twitter for the latest news on the MASL. Game rebroadcasts, MASL shows, highlights, and more available on YouTube at MASL TV. MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League. All the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. And last but certainly not least, Capelli Sport is the official uniform and apparel provider of the Major Arena Soccer League. Learn more at MASLsoccer.com as the Tacoma Stars are getting ready to kick things off here for the start of the third quarter. Frank Tayu, who scored the last goal of this contest for Tacoma, starts things off going to Tyler John, and we are underway. The Empire got into the half as a +12 in shot disparity, which is the highest of the season. Second lowest shots allowed in the first half this year, by the way. The lowest was 2 shots allowed versus Baltimore on February the 19th, 2026, and we know how that result happened. It was a 5-4 loss for the Strykers. For the Tacoma Stars, they've come to play. No question about it. 3-1. Goals by Alex Caceres, Nani Mendoza, and Frank Tayu. Tacoma trying to destroy the blemish they have on their win total on the road.
Tyler John down, a little nick on the boards maybe. But yeah, Philly, you know, I'm not sure how much the coaching staff for the Strykers would address it specifically to the team, but they have to be a bit concerned that the finish of the half was very reminiscent of the last Sockers game. So I'm sure there's going to be something addressing the tempo and obviously creating the chances and taking advantage of those numbers up running situations.
I mean, fact of the matter is, in 6 quarters, the last 6 quarters played at home, the Strykers have only scored 1 goal. That is concerning for a team looking to make a push into the postseason. They average a little over 5 goals per game, 5.1 to be precise.
Well, the part of it is that the pace is you know, self-inflicted, if you will. You know, I mean, they're the ones that kind of say, okay, we're just going to kind of keep the ball.
Briscoe gets dispossessed by Stinson. Stinson against Hernandez, tries to use the wall at his disposal, but Tacoma clears things up as Tyler John centers it towards the midfield, and Ali Somo goes to Perez. It is a restart for the Strykers here.
Yeah, you know, Coach Abassi mentioned it early. You know, they've had good looks, they've had good chances. You know, they've got to just, you know, I would like to see them create more scrambles. You know, uncork Justin, let him get a crack off. Let Somo get a crack off. You know, get Saha get a crack off. Just, you know, make sure these guys understand and hit the, you know, make sure they keep it in play. You know, we always say outdoors, you know, no goal kicks. You know what I mean? There's no reward for goal kicks.
Strykers are getting their shots off as Brandon Gomez starts off the third quarter. That bounces off of Ramos. The touch. Ramos now has it with Gomez well outside of his box. Alami takes it back for Empire. Poked away by Romero. Tyler John, and that's going to pinball itself back over to the Strykers' possession. Look, between Steven Chavez, Justin Stinson, Barbaro Shalir, and Abdul Mansouré, they're getting shots fired off. Mansouré by himself with 3, Shalir with 3, Stinson with 4, and Chavez a better conversion rate than any of his teammates. 2 shots, 1 of them being a goal. So they're getting their looks. They're controlling possession.
They just got to have scrambles off that Philly. You know, that's the thing.
Gomez tries to find Hernandez, as we had a 50-50 ball between Hernandez and Briscoe. Birueta comes back up with it. I mean, when you're being placed into a position to succeed and not converting, It's not so much on the tactics as it is on the output. And so Strykers, with just less than a handful of games left in the season, this is a team that was predicted to finish in the upper echelon, the upper tier of the MASL. If you would have started this season, not many people would have predicted that they would have been fighting for their playoff lives. But alas, here they are. The bounce off the wall into Chavez. Nani Mendoza makes the play. And that's going to be a change of possession as both teams go through their proverbial hockey change in terms of their lineup.
That was a very good rotation from Nani, kind of coming over and then actually banking it off the board. But also a point to what I was saying earlier is, you know, when Nani hits that ball mid-panel, comes back and it's playable. You know, shots that go over the bar, like Coach Obasi was speaking at halftime. You know, when you're the younger team, the team arguably has a quicker step and can, you know, win most of the scrambles, you got to keep the ball in play.
Ramos into Tayu. Tayu gets dispossessed by Sudeth. Mansoray leading the charge. Out of London, England. Bashes that off of the chest of Tayu. Tayu and Uzi poked away by Palmer.
Law of inertia, there you go once again, Philly.
I would have hated to be in between those two Titans.
Something in motion didn't remain in motion because he faced a greater force.
Every action causes an equal, if not bigger, reaction. That is physics. And Palmer and Tayu, I don't want to get anywhere near them.
Two bodies. Oh, my goodness. But that's a good example, you know, of Frank's enthusiasm. But Frank's enthusiasm to defend was a direct result of him taking those extra touches. If he would have just stepped on the ball, show rolled, or kept it a little more, it doesn't allow for the counter. And, you know, again, that's the stuff that Strykers want him to do. So we'll see what happens, how that plays out further in the rest of the game.
Ramos, Tyler John, and he scores! Mike Ramos with the dime, serving up Tyler John, and it is now 4-1 Tacoma.
Just excellent spacing you just saw right there. You know, Mikey Ramos gets the little twist and plays Tyler John, who just kind of floated to the back angle. Just wonderful goal. I mean, it's an indoor goal right here. As we play it in, we just kind of keep it on the boards. Again, this ball coming across, twist Justin, plays to the spot, over rotation, boom, goal. I mean, just simplicity at its finest, you know, quoting Valley Girl.
Tyler John now becomes the third member of the 10-goal club for the Stars. 10 goals, 6 assists. Mikey Ramos with his third assist of the season, now up to 13 points. And it is 4-1 Stars.
That's a great lesson, kind of going back to what I was saying about the finishes, Philly. You know, Tyler clearly was focused on the technique, keeping it below the bar. And if he does miss, it's a save, it's a rebound, it's a spill. It's something that's, you know, not what you want, but at least it's tolerable because you get second chances, can repress. So I'm a very good example of just working and focusing on the technique rather than power and then plowing the seats.
Tyler John's missed a handful of games this season. This is only his 14th. Last year had a breakout year with 18 goals and 3 assists as Kai Briscoe smacks that one into the stands. But Tyler John, just such an important and integral part of Adam Becker's lineup. Here in his 4th season in Tacoma out of Seattle University. Played his club at Federal Way FC. Stinson, and he connects off of the feet of his former teammate, Nestor Hernandez. There's a shot by Alan Perez as that goes into the netting.
Not to beat a dead horse, Philly, but again, we saw it there. You know, Justin playing the ball off the boards for another chance. Alan sails it over the top.
Quick throw into Ramos. Ramos into Hansen. Hansen back over to Ramos. And this is nervous time for fans of the Empire Strykers here. 4-1, facing a tough hill to climb, but in indoor soccer, 3 goals is not a big deficit. But we said the same thing when they were down 4-0 against the San Diego Sockers a little over a week ago. Tayu still sticking with it. One Tayu deserves another. Frank to Uzi. Uzi to Ramos. 6 minutes in to the 3rd quarter. The pass into Tayu. Uzi scores, bottom right corner, the TNT connection, TNT, it is dynamite as Uzi scores and Tacoma is up 5-1.
It's just a moment for I told you so, Philly. The difference between what Frank did the first time to what he did here, exactly what I asked for, or not asked for, but what I recommended, and it comes off again for an easy finish for his brother. Brother to brother, always a wonderful moment.
8:55 remaining here in the third quarter. Uzi Tayu has collected his 33rd goal in his history in the MASL. And what a goal to be had, assisted by his brother, two players who featured in this building extensively as a member of the Empire Strykers / Ontario Fury. And they were the difference makers that we talked about at the top of this broadcast. They have had a huge impact in this match, and they are the reason why, along obviously with Nani Mendoza and Alex Caceres, why the Stars are up 4-1. 5-1, excuse me. Up 4 goals is what I meant to say.
You know, and kudos to the coaching staff, you know, Moan, Keats, and Becker. Just kind of, obviously, you know, again, as I mentioned earlier, just a change, you know, a little more press, higher, defending the yellow, higher, forcing it back, allowing the Strikers to just kind of keep possession. So, good day thus far all across the board, but a lot of time left, Philly.
A lot of time, but Strikers have had their shots. They have had their attempts. But just 1 goal over the course of 6 quarters at home. I want to be very specific. That is at home. Strikers are not having an easy time scoring in front of their crowd, and the crowd has been good this season, all season long at Toyota Arena. As Tyler John has it, but Palmer over to Reyes. Reyes back over to Chavez. The only offense from the Strikers has come from their defender out of Texas. Dances it past that yellow line, back over to Stinson. And this is moments like this, you'd have to wonder whether or not the Strikers should have had Marco Fabian in this game. Ali Somo, that comes off of Birueta. Briscoe hits it off the wall, collected back by Zaha. And look, Fabian may not be having the seasons that he's had in the past, but Marco does have several goals to his credit this season, 8. But he's only featured in 12 games this season. So the Strikers are really protecting their talisman for the latter parts, but without him being a part of the offense, there might not even be a postseason. Strikers are aggressively fighting for it.
And Marco rarely skies it. You know, he's super technical. Ball's in play. You know, teams that prevail don't talk about their shots. They talk about their goals, and that's the difference. You know, you can't be satisfied with shots.
And what a save by Birueta, denying Ali Somo. Ben Sudduth picks off the telegraph pass, but Correa goes back over to Briscoe. Briscoe to Hernandez, who, like many now of his Tacoma teammates, once called Ontario home. Out of Lewis University, an NAIA All-Star, and Nestor Hernandez, just a huge presence in the community at Empire, and very much beloved everywhere he's played, whether it be Dallas, whether it be Ontario, whether now it be Tacoma. Just a man of the people, Nestor Hernandez, wearing the number 12.
Nestor is class act. Class act. I'd love to see him win the Joseph Kyrell Award at some point.
Joseph Kyrell Award named after your son, the late, great Joseph the Jet Kyrell, gone but never forgotten. Ramos had his jersey tugged. Polo getting past Mendoza off the wall. Mansoure to Zaha. Zaha scores! Bottom right corner. Zaha with the zinger. It is now 5-2. Empire back in this game.
You know, I said it before, Billy, you know, on the previous goal. When Zaha gets the ball, there's no power, there's no anything other than just being technical. He's taking the emotion out of it. He sets it up, he sees the technique, he sees the window, side of the foot, just puts it home. And again, even if he had missed Philly, that ball hits the panel and it comes back out to the boards. So it's perfect. Look at this, just tucks it. Chase is a little slow to step out.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking but I'm here for the show.
For 30 years, National Corps has been transforming lives, building communities where our residents and neighbors can thrive, and providing homes for your Empire Strykers. Affordable, high-quality, secure housing. National Corps, home of the Empire Strykers.
When your heart needs a helping hand, you want the best, most advanced treatment available. We know there's strength and expertise. That's why for over 50 years, we've been a trusted provider of heart and vascular care in the region, specializing in minimally invasive surgical techniques, from treating infants born with heart defects to performing complex endovascular procedures. Our specialists are here to support strong, healthy hearts. Loma Linda University International Heart Institute. Many strengths, one mission.
Tonight, we would like Cal, your official destination guide to the inlands. Discover the best of Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga, and the surrounding region, from top-tier dining and entertainment to family fun and outdoor adventure. GoCal showcases the best our region has to offer. Whether you're new to the area or a local looking for something fresh, GoCal has you covered. Discover more at gocal.org. Stryker fans, you can collect stamps and autographs with Stryker's Passport.
So with that goal by Zaha, the rookie, that is his 3rd goal of the season. And there must be something in the air when the Empire takes on Tacoma. Back on February 22nd, as Frank Tayu tried to create some offense, that's going to come back into the hands of Orozco. But Zaha did score 2 goals in the Strykers' 10-2 win against the Stars back on February the 22nd. He now has his 3rd goal of the season, all against Tacoma. So the rookie from the Ukraine having an impact today. Strykers are down by 3, and if you're new to this sport of indoor soccer, this might seem like a big hill to climb. A hill is massive as the ones behind this arena, but a hill that's very climbable. We say that because we've seen it time and time again, some high-scoring games. Orozco cooks it into the netting. Goalkeeper restart for Birueta. I've told the story countless times where we've come into the 4th quarter with a team up 7-2, only to lose the game. That is one example. Of course, that is an example of something that happened here a few years ago, but just showing you that even though it is 5-2 Tacoma, this game very much is not in the bag for any of these two teams.
Not even close. I mean, these goals come fast and furious.
So what you're saying is these two teams are living their life a quarter mile at a time. The dimensions of the turf are what you would see in a hockey arena. There we see, I think that was Abdul Mansouré clearing whatever yellow tape that was hanging off of the net. I know we had an Ontario Reign game here recently. This is the home of the Empire Strykers, the Ontario Reign, the AHL affiliate of the Los Angeles Kings, and home to several concerts. Mansouré off of Tyler John. There's a battle, and that's going to be a foul going against John.
That's the one thing the Stars have to be careful of is, reducing or eliminating those types of fouls. He was looking at his big number. Anytime you see a player's big number, he's working away from you.
Stinson to Diaz-Gonzalez. In Hernandez. Polo saved by Birueta. Picked right back up by Hernandez. Chipped and intercepted by Birueta. Luis tries to advance it into Ramos. See him defended clearly by Zaha. Zaha wins that contest, but it goes right to John. John over to the captain, Caceres. Alex Caceres has seen some things in his illustrious 12-year career. 7 of those 12 here in Tacoma. Another attempt that comes off of Hernandez. Canale tried to make himself a play. And Caceres just gets too far, too underneath the miter ball as that one goes into the net.
Let's try to Short step, a little toe poke there past Brian. But what a collection by Canali, and what a drive by Rafael Cox, just being technical. This is trouble.
Orozco with Jamel on him. We haven't really seen too much of Jamel offensively in this game.
He's very much like Justin Stinson, you know. I mean, just there, has everything going, and you know, nothing going, and the next thing you know, they're going to finish with 2-3 goals. You know, once they're streaky players, both of them.
Like Pringles, once they pop, they can't stop. Ali, Somo, into Chavez. Under 3 to go here in this third quarter. Stinson with space, above it, it hits. Clickety clank clank off the crossbar. Headed out by Jamel. Won by Stinson, getting by Hernandez. Stinson. And he's going to get tripped up. Gets up quickly, sandwiched in between Hernandez and Cox. Let the bodies hit the floor as the dasher boards are getting ripped up. The turf getting annihilated. These are two teams battling heavy, and the Strykers win possession there. Orozco, he scored some bangers from that distance.
That's an example of, you know, Strykers winning the scrambles. You know, as we talked about earlier, Strykers create scrambles. They're probably going to win most of them.
Diaz Gonzalez, he's going to look to tee off. Sees Kai Briscoe and says, nope. Going to turn it around and go to my homie Reyes.
Good choice.
Diaz Gonzalez, that one floats through as he tried to connect with his Cuban futsal national compadre, Shalir, but does not register. Reyes gets muscled off by Cox right in front of the official. And yes, there's the foul. Obviously, we can't hear the whistle because it is very loud here in Toyota Arena. Andy Reyes, club icon, connects with Steven Chavez. Steven Chavez off. Shalir with the touch. And Briscoe with the play. It's going to go back to Palmer. About 90 ticks left here in the quarter. Things starting to pick up. Briscoe into Reyes. Reyes, who was with the Texas Outlaws prior, started off in San Diego. Reyes just so happy to be back in Ontario. Zaha to Palmer. That ricochets. As we saw Correa and Shalir. Diaz Gonzalez, we're approaching that 60-second mark. Can the Strykers net one back before we head into the break? Stinson shoots it off of Hernandez. That's going to be a corner kick restart. Despite not having those dimensions, yes, we have corner kicks. Zaha just misses. It's going to rebound off of the plexi into Diaz Gonzalez.
We call it restart.
Well, we see a dasher board into that far corner ripped down. So that is a structure tear, and that's going to have to get fixed, as that could cause an injury.
That was fortuitous for the Stars there, Philly. They got caught on a bad transition, bad change.
Stinson on the corner kick restart. He has Abdul Mansouri on that far post unmarked. Zaha into a Stars blockade. Correa is going to levitate it. Not going to detonate it, though, as that comes off of the United Chiropractic Health Center dasher board. And shout out Dr. Fantasia. Nani Mendoza, is down on the turf.
Yeah, the exit ball there, too, bounced just before the yellow line. Otherwise, that ball comes back right to the opposite yellow. So, very technical release there from, was that Correa?
And Mendoza down on the turf. He's stamped his name in this game in his 4th season in the MASL with the Stars, coming up with the reserves of Tacoma back during that 22-23 season, and was Tacoma Stars USL League 2 team participant. Artie, we got bills to pay. What do we got?
Soccer in 60 is your go-to source for pro soccer in Greater LA. For all things LAFC, LA Galaxy, Angel City, Orange County SC, and Empire Strykers. Tune in live every Thursday at 4 p.m. on KMET, 1490 a.m., at 6 p.m. on Fox Sports, 1270 a.m., or anytime on the Empire Strykers YouTube or your favorite podcast player. Just search for Soccer in 60. Stay connected with the Empire Strykers all season long by downloading the official Empire Strykers app. From score and schedules to tickets and team updates, it's the easiest way to stay in the game. Download the Empire Strykers app by scanning the QR code and never miss a moment of the action.
Follow MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram, and MASL Arena on Twitter for the latest news on the MASL. And what an MASL game we've had thus far. 7 goals in almost 3 quarters of action. 44.5 seconds remaining here in this third as Strykers have possession, with potentially looking for the final shot, if not the final goal. And in this sport, as it is the case in every sport, momentum has a tendency to shift, as do the tides. Can the Strykers claw their way back? Because they don't have that much time. Taken away by Correa. Stinson almost turns it over, and Correa's gonna foul Orozco with 31.2. Restart as Palmer gets it into play real quick to Diaz-Gonzalez. There's Briscoe making a play, and 2 quick fouls on Tacoma. Palmer tried to quickly restart it into Shalier. Felt too froggy. The referees are going to say, nope, come back to the original lily pad and jump again. Back over to Shalier. Shalier and Uzi Tayu. These are 2 very tall, big-bodied players. That pinball's in to John, bodied off by Shalier. Shalier has it going back over to Palmer. Under 20 here in the third. Diaz-Gonzalez gets it taken away. Hansen. And that's going to give 6 seconds to Strykers. Orozco manifests it in. And Birueta does get a hand on it, as Palmer was the intended recipient. But we head into the fourth quarter with the Stars maintaining their lead up by a score of 5-2. Tacoma have yet to trail. Can the comeback start by the Empire? Well, your guess is as good as mine. 15 more minutes to decide a victor today. Still so much more can happen. Don't you dare go anywhere.
Funding for this program is presented by September's Tap Room and Eatery. More information at septembers.com.
Are you looking for inspiration? The FYI podcast shares powerful stories from people like NFL Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson, Gabrielle Walsh, star of NBC's hit show Bound. You'll learn all about mindset and what it takes to navigate, overcome, and persevere through any challenges that life puts in front of you. If you're ready to be inspired, subscribe to the Finding Your Inspiration podcast.
Is shown every Monday night on MASL TV and on CBS Sports Golasso Network. Alex Bashavansky and Phil Ivanko are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's games and discuss the league's hot topics. Disagree with a call tonight? You might just see it on the MASL's Under Review with Phil Ivanko and MASL head referee Ryan Sikic. Under Review is available Fridays on YouTube. Staff writer Joseph Reina and veteran coach Mark Litton explain the game with perspectives from both sides of the glass in the MASL's newest show, Soccer Signal. With data analysis, breakdowns, and interviews from coaches around the league, Soccer Signal airs every other Thursday on MASL TV.
Please join us on Sunday, March 29th at 4 p.m. as the Empire Strykers face the St. Louis Ambush here at Toyota Arena. The official Empire Strykers team store, from jerseys and hats to the latest team gear. Everything you need to represent your favorite team is now available. Visit the team store online for more information. Stay connected with the Empire Strykers all season long by following the team on social media. Get the latest news, behind-the-scenes content, highlights, and updates all in one place. Follow the Empire Strykers on social media and stay part of the action.
Artie, it is 28-8 in terms of shots, all in favor of the Strykers. They have had their highest offensive output attempt in this game, and they've continued to climb every quarter. 8 in the first, 9 in the second, 11 in the third, whereas Tacoma has just sat back. 3 shots in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, yet they have a 5-2 lead, 5 for 8 on their conversion rate. That's why they've been playing so great.
Quality over quantity every single time. You know, just keeping the ball in play. You know, any shot that results in a goalkeeper distribution is a turnover. Bottom line, period, dot, exclamation point.
Soccer is one of those amazing sports where you can have all the possession, all the output, but it's all philosophy unless you can score. As Mansour's shot comes off of Birueta, the rebound back over to the Strykers, and they're going to have another round at it again.
We've said it before. You know, the Stars are saying, Strykers, you can possess it here. So are they really establishing possession, or are they just playing where the Stars are saying they can play? I mean, that's the beauty about football. When you really look at it, you know, are you really doing something productive, or are you just falling into the trap of the team that's defending you? You know, you've got to go forward. We've seen the last 2 stoppages where the initial pass from the Strykers was backwards, costing time. Less than 8 seconds, you want to go forward. Take a chance.
Shout out to our statisticians. We were just made aware of the fact, as that ball rebounds, that the Empire has one fourth-quarter comeback this season, and it happened last Saturday at St. Louis. Can history repeat itself? We shall soon see, and we are blessed with 2 incredible statisticians, in that of Holly Hutt and Jason Hernandez. Certainly appreciate all of their hard work.
Kudos. Every challenge, they step up.
That they do. Feels like, you know, we're running a tight ship here. Anytime we've asked for certain stats, we've gotten them. So we are beyond fortunate to have an incredible statistician crew, and not to mention a great production crew.
It's awesome, because at home I get nothing I ever ask for, so this is great.
Well, that makes 2 of us. Lessons from the long-term. I mean, that would be a great podcast. Lessons from the long married couples.
Yeah, we just learned how long you were dating earlier today.
Me and Panda got married in 2017, so it's been a minute. Orozco with space. It gets chopped. Palmer did have a touch. John and Mansour. Mansour is going to get called for the foul on John.
That was very good from Tyler John. He was pulling that foul 10 feet before he got the call. He just got body position and was just working to get the call and just relax and restart. Just fundamentally sound thus far for the Tacoma Stars.
And just the way they're playing, it is somewhat of a surprise that this team, the header by Taiyu, and denied by Brian Orozco, the king looking for his 2nd goal of the game, as he looked up into the heavens and questioned to the soccer gods why I couldn't have that. And the reason, Brian Orozco.
Well, you mention the event all the time, but that was definitely the lookings of a TST goal.
And Caceres is going to motion for a timeout, and the Stars are going to get it with 12:37 remaining in this contest. We'll see what Adam Becker draws up for the Stars. Tacoma, at home, all season long, has looked like a completely different team than they have looked on the road. They started out red hot, and one would wonder whether or not having legendary players like Nick Pereira and Chris Toth would have been something that would have accommodated this team. But as they got into the away games, you could see that missing players as talented as Toth and Pereira were something that hurt them. Not having a true target forward until they bring in Frank Tayu. And Frank Tayu, in 4 contests already with 6 goals, has had a huge impact on Tacoma and potentially their run into the postseason. We can't help but mention the fact that this game is huge because the final playoff spot is really going to come down to Empire and Tacoma as we take a look at our game stats brought to you by National Core. Empire is dominated in every category other than goals.
The most important category. You know, and that's the thing is you know, it's kind of crazy, but you know, it's the quality of the shots. It's the end net gains. You know, in football, it's all about net gains. So we have 30 shot, but the net gains is 2. So how do we improve that? The quality of the opportunity, the quality of the look, the number of scrambles. So that's what the Strikers have to look at now. They've got to look at the net gains, and they've got to create these scrambles. I mean, they're a very athletic team, and they're winning scrambles. But when you isolate and go one shot at a time, it's very ineffectual.
Top of the arc restart. Caceres tries to chip it, but Mansoret gets the header. That timeout for a play drawn up, only to be broken by Mansoret. Palmer intercepts the telegraph pass from Birueta as he had Mansoret closing in on him. Birueta with that long throw, trying to find Tayu, and John keeps it. Almost kept it, but taken away by Sudeth. Sudeth fires. Mansoret nearly off of the official. Not sure if that went off of him or the RPM 12, but if it did go off the official, then we would have had to have had a restart. It is, as the official does blow the whistle, and he says his time, it hit off of him, preventing, honestly, Tacoma from going on a run.
Yeah, very fortuitous call. I mean, you saw him processing it, and you know, to be fair, I think, you know, I welcome that call, because I think when the ball, you know, just like outdoor, when the ball hits the official and it's influenced by the official, the ball should revert back to the other team.
Strikers with under 12 to go. Have Ali Somo trying to advance it past Rafael Cox. Somo gets boxed out by Briscoe, and Somo's going to get called for the foul. Briscoe in his 2nd year in the MASL with Tacoma. Came up from the Sounders too, where he featured in 2017 and 2018. And what he has in common with his teammates, Rafael Cox and Danny Waltman, is, well, ties to the University of Washington Huskies. They unfortunately lost their playoff game today in the Big Ten. Taken away by Zaha. And see the whistle. I missed that one. Artie, that totally went way over my head. What did we just see?
I'm not really sure. I think they called some sort of dissent from the bench, right, which negatively impacts the Strikers' opportunity to go forward. So
you're right. I mean, Zaha had a clean strip and a clean look, but once that whistle blew, that stopped the flow, that stopped the momentum.
Correct. That's a yellow card for dissent, so there's no power play. They must have called an infraction, maybe handled it with, you know, with his hand, possibly, but they called the infraction there for a free kick for Tacoma. And then prior to that, obviously, there was some dialogue from the Tacoma bench.
And Uzi Tayu's going to head on over to the bin of sin. So it is not a man advantage, as you alluded to, but Uzi Tayu is going to be in the box for 5 minutes. And Uzi Tayu has a goal in this game and is a huge, huge presence defensively.
That's a minimum of 5 minutes, Philly, because he can't come out until a normal stoppage after that 5 minutes. So it could be critical the way this game is going. I mean, there's not really a lot of fouls and stoppages, so it's going to be interesting how that plays out and if it affects the game moving forward. But we saw Somo kind of go on that isolation with Rafael Cox. You know, that's how they got their first goal. So I would like to see something more along those lines when they create the ISOs in the imbalance in speed, that they take advantage of that. So, you know, again, the messages are there for the Strikers. They just got to acknowledge and go after it.
The restart was taken away by Romero. Yahir, who came in from the Dallas Sidekicks. Here in his 3rd season in the MASL. This is his first full year with Tacoma. Out of Dallas-Fort Worth, played at Western Texas College. And at TST for a couple of different teams. We already talked about that. Romero had a nice 2-goal game recently. Ball gets taken away by Diaz-Gonzalez into Zaha. Zaha with 1 goal to his credit today. And that one takes a big bounce off of the boards and over the wall. It's going to be Stars with the possession with under 11 to go. The quick play in from Hansen into John. Intercepted by Sudeth. Sudeth slips up, gets tripped up, and stripped by John and Canale.
See that shot from Zaha again. It goes in the stats as a shot. That's going to be more shots for Strykers. But at the end of the day, net gain, net result.
Rafael Cox.
It was a turnover.
Hansen into Ramos. Ramos, who featured with the Puerto Rican national outdoor team, also drafted by Toronto FC. Did not sign with them several years ago. Ramos, a very exciting player to watch in the indoor game. Birueta, and that whistle gets blown.
So they're calling 2 touches, meaning the goalkeeper touched the ball and was in the possession and then touched it a second time prior to the opposition touching the ball. So now it's a free kick where he touched the ball for the second time. Mistake there for the Stars.
But a challenge flag gets thrown out by Adam Becker in Tacoma, and I'm not sure that the officials have seen it yet. We could see it clear as day. That challenge flag, orange. There's nothing in this building that is orange, and there we see Servando Berna, who acknowledges and picks up the challenge flag. So while he has a discussion with Tacoma Stars head coach Adam Becker, Artie, why don't you let our audience know, tuning in on MASL TV as well as KVCR PBS, what is going on?
Well, the orange/red challenge flag is thrown by the coaches or from the bench when they feel as though there was a foul that was missed by the officials, or in this case, I'm guessing that they missed the fact that Strykers touched the ball prior to Beretta's second touch. So they can challenge the call, and as you can see, the referees are going for a video review. They'll go through the review. If the challenge is successful, then they'll get their challenge flag back for 1 additional challenge. If it's not successful, they will lose that challenge.
Tacoma's challenging for a second touch. However, by rule, that is not something that's challengeable. Tacoma loses their challenge for the game.
So in this case, the other caveat is if you're not well versed in the rules and you challenge a play that cannot be challenged, you've lost your challenge flag. So striker score here, Philly, and the game gets tight. That could be along with the yellow card. The challenge could be an issue.
Diaz-Gonzalez on the restart to Stinson, and he scores! The Stinger stinks the back line of Tacoma. It is now 5-3. How do you like that? Justin Stinson in his first game after setting the franchise record, beating Birueta on that restart. A huge moment here for the Strykers.
We've been saying it all night, Philly. Technique, technique, technique. You know, he didn't overcook it. He hit it technically sound. I'm not sure, you know, Birueta kind of came out swatting at flies there. I'm not really sure about if that was the proper choice. Whatever the choice, it's a goal. It's a goal for the Strykers, and they're right back in it.
Diaz gets the dime, aka the assist. Stinson with the goal, and now the momentum has completely shifted in the direction of the Strykers. We have learned a couple of things moments ago, and we have a tough foul on the turf, but a nice display of sportsmanship between Lawal and Romero. Stinson gets his 14th goal. He's now tied with Munir Alami for most goals here for the Strykers. But we've learned that Tacoma has lost their ability to challenge, and clearly I've lost my ability to see the difference between red and orange. The layoff from Tayu to Romero. He's going to get clipped by Mansoure, but it's a clean clip. Abdul into the wall. Cutis just misses. Chavez overcooks it, and the Strikers miss a brilliant moment to make this a one-goal game. That's the second time today that we've seen a missed opportunity on a Strikers counter.
Again, you know, as we said in the insights, you know, run and don't look back. You know, they caught a 3 versus 2, made the right decision, and then just 2 missed techniques to finish the goal. Those hurt. They're going to come back. You know.
Quick restart into Reyes.
Just keep running. Just keep running.
Palmer into Reyes. Reyes in his 5th year here in the Empire. Excuse me, his 7th year, actually. 10 years in the MASL. Played at Taft, along with several players, actually, who played at Taft College. Also featured at Cal State San Bernardino. There he is, trying to get by Ramos. Tries to skirt it in, ball is loose, poked away. Briscoe, and he collides right with Somo. Oh, it's starting to get a little chippy here in Ontario, that's for sure.
Nothing easy. That's the time of year, time of the game. Nothing's easy.
Well, they do say the month of March is filled with madness, and I know that is a term given to a different sport, but we are seeing it with our own eyes here in Toyota Arena. Canale chests it, trying to find John, but Perez so wisely pushes it into Orozco. Hernandez into Brian. Brian, and there's a header by Hansen. Birueta outside of his box, and that looks like it's going to be a handball on Sutton.
It's a fortuitous call. Luis has to do a little better with his feet there. I thought it would have been a better choice to hit it off that high plexi and get the ball out.
If you've had the word fortuitous on your indoor soccer bingo card today, you would have heard the great Artie Kyrell use it a couple of times. Perhaps we should make it a fun contest for those watching at home. I don't even know how to spell fortuitous. I'm not even going to try.
I can start with the number 4.
4, 2.
The number 2.
The pass into Taiyu as he turns around. Palmer hits it. Hansen. That ricochets between both teams. Won by Shalier. Shalier into Perez. Perez with Hansen all over him. Perez back passes it into Sudeth. Sudeth wisely looks up and sees Taiyu and goes back over to Palmer. Diaz-Gonzalez and Steven Chavez come back onto the turf for Empire. Under 8 to go. Strikers down by 2. Really coming alive here in the second half. Looking to protect Toyota Arena and to push Tacoma back in this playoff hunt. Strikers are up by 2 points, holding on to the final playoff position by a thread. A win by either of these teams would be huge for their playoff push. Palmer, Stinson, Chavez, Shalier, Diaz-Gonzalez. And that was the play as the 2 Cubans tried to find a connection. Just not enough mustard on the attempt as Hansen connects with Correa.
Strikers just got to keep pushing. Tacoma's got a ghost in their closet, you know, with San Diego kind of nicking one late when Pereira scored that late goal and they wanted an extra time. So they've got to, you know, they've got that feeling on their back that they've got to get off. So Strikers can make it very interesting.
Chavez in the air, headed by John Chavez. There's a fun back and forth between each team as Taiyu recovers. Taiyu now caught in a Strikers sandwich, taken away by Chavez. Strikers with some momentum. Stinson still sticking with it. And how he manages to get himself out of that predicament is beyond me, but he doesn't in that case, as Sudeth does make contact with Cox. And there's going to be a foul called against Juice as Shalier raced his hand and Cox just batted it away. These 2 teams are getting competitive with one another. 46 meeting, historically 5th of the season. As we take a look at the replay, Shalier gets fouled. Cox gets called for it. Not thrilled about that call. Regardless, 6:22, Strikers on the restart. Palmer wearing the captain's armband for the Strikers. goes into Stinson wearing those neon green shoes. Finds Zaha, the rookie, already with 1 goal, looking for number 2, and he just misses it as he was knocking on the door of Birueta. And that comes back towards Orozco. We are approaching the 6-minute mark here in the 4th quarter. Hearing chants of "Here we go, Strikers, here we go." Zaha into Stinson. A stinger with a goal today. Passes to Orozco. Brian with the footwork. Brian, who plays futsal for the Guatemalan national team, shows us his ability to possess, pass, distribute, as well as score, by the way. Strikers hanging on to possession, but time is not on their side as Orozco kicks it in. And that's going to bounce into Birueta's hands. He rolls it really quickly in to the right, over to Briscoe. And Briscoe didn't even really have a touch. He used the wall very intelligently. Hernandez back over to his keeper. Hitting that 5-minute mark here. A goal for Tacoma would be that proverbial nail in the coffin, unless the Empire can strike back. Nani Mendoza back onto the turf. Haven't seen him really since he took that knock back in the 3rd quarter. But Nani with a goal into today's game. Correa, a firefighter during his day job. Just a fascinating story, by the way. Firefighter by day, professional indoor soccer player by night. In a Canali. Canali spins past Hernandez. Almost creates a brilliant pass off the wall to his teammate, Yahir Romero. And that gets taken away. Mansoure advances it, but with nobody to connect with as far as his teammates go. I don't know about you at home, but I'm all out of nails to chomp on. I don't want to get into the bad habit of biting on my cuticles. But we're getting to that point here with 4 minutes remaining. Uzi Tayu still in the box with that 5-minute yellow card dissent infraction. Jamel, the juice was nearly loose. And just misses. Ball is still loose. Reyes on the run. Still with it. And there's a foul on Canale. Quick restart for Empire, 3:30 remaining. And the official is going to blow the whistle, and the Strikers are going to have to chillax at the moment before going back on this restart here. And so we mentioned Uzi Tayu because he's going to get ready to come out of the penalty box, serving that 5-minute yellow card infraction. Hernandez, the hero this past weekend's game against St. Louis, where he had 2 goals. Ken Polo, which is his nickname, finds some of that magic here. 180 ticks of the game clock left. Shalir off the wall, loose, and Perez teed off into Correa's back. And Birueta is down, as is Polo Hernandez, and the officials are going to motion on over to the training staff of both teams as 2 players have hit the deck here.
So that allows the player to come out of the box. In this situation, the trainer coming on, I believe both players need to come off now, so you're going to have Clayson come in to maybe finish this.
And folks, we're going to head to a timeout, our final timeout before we have the last 2:51 remaining. Stick around. Still anything can happen today and tonight.
One, two, three, let's go. I see you staring but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking but I'm here for the show.
Wind 6 miles, runway 26 right, cleared on.
The great country with a lot of amazing things. Swedish Fish, but more importantly, the band Europe. Formed in 1979, they gave us a song called The Final Countdown, which you hear in arenas all across the country, and that is exactly where we are here with 2:51 remaining, the final countdown. There we see the replay, the collision between Birueta and Polo. What are we looking at, AC?
Just two players going after it in the final moments of a game. Birueta coming, Superman punch. Polo coming in, turns, gets his back turned, and then his head just bonks the board. Those are painful. And then you see Carrera sacrificing everything, just flying through to block it. Got two teams working their butts off, Philly, to get this result.
And
there was a challenge too, I believe, from Coach Obasi. Not sure what it is.
Well, the officials are going to give us that word here as we see a standard microphone in the hands. So hang on a second as we await the clarifications. In the meantime, if you're at home, you're no doubt hearing the Macarena. And the last time I heard that song, I fell off my dinosaur.
After review, there's a foul by the Tacoma goalkeeper. There's a foul at the top of the arc. This was not a blue card. However, Empire retains their challenge.
AC? And we're not talking about air conditioning.
They must have gone back to something previous than the scramble on the goal there, or along the boards. Not really sure what it was. So it had to have happened just prior. So great, great call, and quite fortunate that they were able to get it in time, because if you wait too long, you lose the challenge. So good job for Coach Obasi to get this chance. This changes everything right here, Philly.
It does if the Strykers can convert. Otherwise, it is purely Play-Doh, nothing but philosophy. As Diaz-Gonzalez is set to take the top of the arc restart. He's got Stinson to his left, Zaha to his right. Goes into Zaha. He dummies it to no one. Not sure if he tried to dummy it or if he just misjudged it. Either way, the Strykers miss out on that opportunity for the free kick.
Yes, somebody missed an arrow in that bench talk right there. Says that definitely was a leave for someone else to come and hit it.
Diaz-Gonzalez back over to Palmer, and Orozco is going to come off. In comes Steven Chavez wearing the 6th attacker jersey. Will we have a 6th attacker dagger late in this game for the Strykers? Chavez has already stamped his name offensively in this game with a goal to start things off when it was 2-1. The Empire have never led in this game. It has been all Tacoma since 2 and change in the first quarter. A Stinson shot punched away by Birueta. Alami, it is loose, cleaned up by Hansen over to Correa. Under 2 to go. That ball is loose, miscommunication. Correa. And the goal by Kai Briscoe. And that should steal this game for Tacoma. Artie, break out your Bacardi, because in Tacoma they are having a party.
That's a good one. I mean, a great goal. Just hard work from Carrera all day long. Has the block earlier, has here, was calm on the ball. I mean, Strykers were probably going to get caught with too many men on the floor on the change anyway, so it was probably a delayed blue card. So at the end of the day, they get the goals, no power play. So here it is. I mean, just quality. Look, just you know, no rush, no rush, no rush. Even a great play there by Chavez, no rush, and just simply putting it away. That's the difference today.
The Stars are on the precipice of their first win on the road.
At the most critical point of their season.
And this comes off of the heels off of a big win against Kansas City. For those that have said Tacoma cannot win on the road, listen, they're going to win right here. Unless the Strikers can average a goal every 10 seconds, which of course is asking the world. Chavez did do a good job standing up, preventing Correa from scoring, but Briscoe does register a huge goal. As time is running out in this contest for the Strikers.
Got to get it to the low boards and create scrambles.
Briscoe scores lucky number 7 on the season. 40 seconds to go. Chavez over to Perez. Perez off the wall. Stinson chest traps it. Into Diaz-Gonzalez. Saved by Birueta. And Luis is just having himself a heck of a game. Diaz-Gonzalez does have Stinson open, wide open to the left. And he ran right into a buzzsaw, and that buzzsaw's name was Tyler John. Steven Chavez gets in the way, redirecting the attempt by John. 7 seconds. Tacoma, are you partying? What a huge result for your Stars as they shine brightly here in the Inland Empire. Tacoma steals it from the Empire Strykers. I shouldn't even say steals it because the Empire never actually had it. It's been all Tacoma here. 6-3, massive 3 points. They now leapfrog the Strykers and are currently maintaining that 6th and final playoff spot.
Yeah, they got the points tonight. They needed the points. Teams at the tops of the tables, congratulations for getting into the playoffs with the win, I believe. The top team gets in, I believe. You know, just great result from Tacoma. We talked about it from jump, you know, the little change from the last time. The end of the game here for the Strikers, unfortunately, was deja vu all over again. A team sitting in, protecting a lead, and they just played around the top of the yellow underneath the circle. You know, they created the one chance with Allen that created the restrike from Justin, but just not enough of those opportunities, and just content with hitting the ball from distance. And again, as we said last game, you know, as you shift the house, you're just creating these windows for the goalkeeper to defend. He doesn't even have to defend the entire goal because the defenders are creating shooting windows. And Birueta came up with the saves.
And so, yeah, a huge win for Tacoma. As we mentioned, they leapfrog the Strikers. Big 3 points. They are now in 6th place, 1 point ahead of the Empire. And it looks like Frank Tayu is going to have a conversation with our sideline correspondent, Amanda Filliman, the King, in his return to the Empire. A goal and an assist to his brother Uzi. Take it away, Panda, as we hear from Frank Tayu, the man, the myth, the legend.
Guys, I'm here with Tacoma Stars. Frank Tayu, 1 goal and an assist tonight. First, I need to ask, how does it feel being here inside Toyota Arena? It's been a while.
It's been a while, but it feels like home. You know, we have our whole club here. The girls and the kids are super excited to watch us play, and I just want to perform for them and lead by example.
With playoff implications on the line for Tacoma and not being very successful on the road, you guys came in here with a clear game plan. Talk to me about the message coming into tonight's game and how well that was executed.
Well, it was more so about mentality rather than game plan. Of course, we had a game plan, but the mentality had to be right, you know, and I knew that if I could make big defensive plays, it was going to pump up the guys, which I did. You know, I'm a goal scorer, so the goals are going to come, the chances I'm going to create. It was more so setting the tone, leading by example, showing the guys that defense win championships.
You guys have a few games left here on the road. Every game's going to be important. What is your guys' plan and message going forward in trying to get into that final playoff spot into this MASL playoff structure?
Well, first and foremost, we have to rest. You know, Baltimore is a very, very good team, and they're playing at home. They have a great system. The most important is get our legs back and get out there and see what we can do. We have Utica after that, so take it one game at a time and see what happens.
Absolutely. Congratulations on a big win tonight for you guys, and it's so good to see you, Frank, as always, a legend in this league, and a great performance tonight.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here. Good to see you.
Absolutely. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Amanda, and thank you, Frank Tayu. We're going to send it to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap this one up in a bow for you. Your final score, Tacoma 6, Empire Strykers 3. See you on the other side of this break.
Helping Hand, you want the best, most advanced treatment available. We know there's strength and expertise. That's why for over 50 years, we've been a trusted provider of heart and vascular care in the region, specializing in minimally invasive surgical techniques. From treating infants born with heart defects to performing complex endovascular procedures, our specialists are here to support strong, healthy hearts. Loma Linda University International Heart Institute. Many strengths, one mission.
Hit it.
I'm so excited.
Buenos dias.
We are bred to be storytellers.
Welcome to Inland Edition, conversations working to make the Inland Empire a better place.
Welcome to the Ontario Airport Hotel and Conference Center, where convenience meets comfort. Just 5 minutes from Ontario Airport and only 30 seconds from Toyota Arena, we are right in the heart of the IE and home to your Empire Strykers watch parties. Whether you're traveling, catching a game, or hosting your next big event, we have everything you need, from a full snack bar and pool to real-time flight tracking and flexible event spaces for groups of all sizes. Trusted by teams, fans, and the community, Ontario Airport Hotel and Conference Center is proud to be the Empire's most trusted hotel.
Back here at Toyota Arena, where the Tacoma Stars just won their first contest on the road, defeating the Empire Strykers by a score of 6-3. There you see your national core, and the thing that strikes out the most to me, Coach, is a shot disparity of plus 26, the biggest shot disparity this season. The previous high was plus 18, 32-14 at St. Louis, which also resulted in a loss. Despite dominating the possession and performance, Strykers lose here once again on their home turf.
It's a difficult prospect, you know, when you're getting off all these shots. There's this misnomer thinking that you're doing something well, but at the end of the day, it's all about net gains. You know, the net gains from the Tacoma Stars shooting ratio to Strykers, it's a similar story, right? So you've got to be able to understand that, and you've got to be able to modify. At the end of the day, there's some striking similarities from this game to last game, especially the end. And for the Strykers, they've got to go and get points. You know, the season is far from being over. They're well within striking distance. Tacoma's got a tough schedule. Everyone's tough this time of year. So they've got to just rebound, and they've got to get their points. Tacoma, you know, they've got to travel again, and they've got to play, and they're going to play in Baltimore, which is a very difficult place to play, but they've also got to get points. So, and then you've got the top of the table where you got San Diego and Kansas City playing 4 times, right? So I mean, there's just so much more to play. But at the end of the day, for me, just kind of watching, there's just too many similarities in defeat that have to be addressed moving forward to get those points.
Yeah, for Tacoma, with the exception of one game on March the 21st against the Ambush, I mean, all their games, to your point, on the road, twice at Baltimore, then at Utica City. Baltimore blast the hottest team in the MASL, having rattled off 7 consecutive wins. This is a team that was hanging on to the final playoff spots, and now has just muscled their way into pole position. But muscling their way back into the postseason debate is the Tacoma Stars, and a lot of that came by way of just the incredible goalkeeping of Luis Birueta, stopping the Empire Strykers. Frank Tayu, a goal and an assist, a pass to his brother Uzi. Uzi mainly known for defense, but scored offensively as well. Alex Caceres, Nani Mendoza would get goals in this game, so a lot of fireworks, a lot of brilliant maneuvering for the Tacoma Stars. For the Empire Strykers, I mean, they were led by Justin Stinson, Zaha, Steven Chavez. I mean, these are the players that would get the goals. For the Empire, they take on the Milwaukee Wave on Sunday, March the 15th. Not going to be an easy game as they head into Panther Arena. For the Tacoma Stars, they are going to be on the road taking on the Baltimore Blast on Saturday. The next home game for the Empire Strykers will be on March the 29th, where they take on the St. Louis Ambush in the final game, and that will also be the first time you get to see the MASLW here in Toyota Arena, with the Empire Strykers women taking on the San Diego Sockers women. So if you're in town, get your tickets for that one. It should be a lot of fun. On behalf of myself, Christian Filliman, better known as Philly, and the coach AC Artie Kyrell, and our brilliant production staff, we want to say thank you so much for tuning into this presentation of the Major Arena Soccer League on MASL TV and KVCR PBS. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on March the 29th.
Children are living in poverty, in desperate need of food, academic support, and stable housing. Children who face staggering challenges and who are more likely to experience health problems and fall behind in school. But there is hope. At Hope Through Housing, we are changing lives. We provide children with the support they need to dream, learn, and break the cycle of poverty. Your gift today can make a world of difference in the life of a child.
Are you looking for inspiration? The FYI podcast shares powerful stories from people like NFL Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson, Gabrielle Walsh, star of NBC's hit show Bound. You'll learn all about mindset and what it takes to navigate, overcome, and persevere through any challenges that life puts in front of you. If you're ready to be inspired, subscribe to the Finding Your Inspiration podcast.
Funding for this program is presented by September's Tap Room and Eatery. More information at septembers.com.
For 30 years, National Core has been transforming lives, building communities where our residents and neighbors can thrive, and providing homes for your Empire Strykers. Affordable, high-quality, secure housing. National Core, home of the Empire Strykers.